What's up? What's up, everybody? Well, we'll bring that down a little bit. Keep that background music going. Bump up my mic because I'm a little quiet. Make sure my camera is in. I feel like I'm not in. There we go. Sweet. Boom. Howdy, howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing? We're going to be talking Valorant today. Let's go. I'm just perusing the TL right now. Hey, bud, I was just listening to very similar YouTube music. Oh, yeah? Jazz, your style? Pulled up your stream, paused the music, and then when you started talking, I thought it was an ad. That's funny. I liked it. I pulled this off of YouTube's, like, copyright-free video, or music. I've actually had a productive... or actually be productive today. Let's go. Yes. Way to go, Koi. How do you add them? I'm working on broadcast VODs from last week while you're in the background. I like it. Yes. I gotta upload our VOD from last night's Rocket League match still. Just got back from the gym. I'm in some pain. I don't know why I do it. Hi, Antor. What's the tea? You tell me, Billy. What's the tea? What do you got? What's the hot info off the press? We'll talk Valorant today. That's the main topic. Give a little bit of my my thoughts on it and what I think is going to happen potentially. Imagine going to this gym. I know. I've been on vacation, so I don't have any hot gas. What? Yeah, vacations do rock. Yeah. I've been going to the gym 4 times a week, working with a personal trainer, trying to lose a bit of weight. Oh. Do I know Jay Smith yet? Somehow. Yeah, I know Jay Smith. At least we've interacted on Twitter and talked via Twitter. That's kind of the extent of how much I know Jay Smith, I believe. Wait, I stepped away. Who am I? Who am I? Yeah. He asked if I knew you. I said, yeah, kinda. I mean, we've interacted on Twitter. That's how I know you. Twitter is enough. Yeah, I mean, I basically know you if we've interacted on Twitter. You don't know me though? Okay, Koi. We've interacted. I'm completely anonymous with no online brand. Your online brand is literally a fish. But you've got quite the brand. But I've met you in real life, so I'll hack your IP and find out. Well, let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Collegiate Esports Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Antor, and this is what we do. We hang out here on Twitch, and then we upload it on YouTube after. We talk about something that's going on in Collegiate Esports. And today, Riot announced that Valorant will officially be supported in the collegiate space by the RSAA. Now, the RSAA, if you're not aware, is the Riot Scholastic Association of America. It's what they describe as the governing body of college and high school League of Legends. It's a group, if you will, with a board of advisors that has experience in education, such as AJ Dimmick of Utah, Chris of Villas from New Jersey's high school, or Garden State Esports, which is their high school league, Mark Deppy. Who else we got on here? Kurt Melcher's on there. Karen Ruggles was added this year as well. Big fan of Karen. She's awesome. But they announced that they're going to be supporting Collegiate Valorant starting next fall. So that's some pretty big news. There's a lot of questions in the space of if Riot, or how involved Riot was going to be in Collegiate Valorant, if they were going to support it. I guess most people were under the impression that yes, they would support it, but what does that look like? Would they be a part of the RSAA? Would they be their own separate entity run under the Valorant team at Riot? And some of those answers, or some of those questions, were answered today. Most of them were not. We'll go ahead and pull up this announcement so you can all see it. Screen and webcam. Boom. RSAA, Riot Games North America, to contribute to building up collegiate Valorant ecosystem. In conjunction with the RSAA, Riot Games North America will provide infrastructure to foster growth and competition at the collegiate level. Basically, it goes on to say that we want to build up the collegiate system upon RSAA's three pillars: students first, long-term stability, and competitive integrity. Basically, they'll share updates as they shape their 2022 plans in terms of next fall, but did not release a whole lot of information of what this looks like. They do say it's going to start in fall 2022. I think this is this is overall good news, I think, for the space. CLOL has gotten to a place that's pretty well respected amongst the collegiate scene. There's a lot of there's some criticism towards that model and a little bit and how restrictive it is in the space, but overall it's a pretty respected model. And teams continue to support their League of Legends teams because of the support that Riot puts behind it. I agree with Billy there. Billy says, super good news. Valorant was super underserved for a bit. I agree with that. But I think there's been folks in the space who are hosting some Valorant competition, but when they try to work with Riot, it's been a lot of like, what are your plans? And then really restricting it. So there hasn't been a lot of support in the collegiate scene for Valorant because Riot has been so restrictive of what they're allowing. And I think it's so that they can come into the space and have the first swing at it in terms of a mass adoption. Billy says, I think they were letting the game mature a bit more before giving it to CLOL treatment. I agree to an extent. Billy asks, do you think they'll outsource it again or run stuff in-house? I think they're going to run their main stuff in-house is my guess. If Riot has taught us anything, it's in the pro and in the collegiate scene, they want to own the product. My assumption is that they'll be running it pretty closely to what CLOL does. When they put down long-term stability, though, that screams for me and how CLOL is being formed or kind of grown is partner conferences. I assume, and my guess is that partner conferences will be a big part of Collegiate Valorant from the get-go when we start looking at kind of the infrastructure, the structure of competition. Is that the part of CLOL you don't like? No, actually, I really like partner conferences. Big fan of partner conferences. We're in a partner conference. I think that's where a lot of it's going to go. I think I don't see them using a third party. I think what has to kind of be considered here is that the RSAA is also in charge of the relationship and the decision of using play versus at the high school level. So we've seen this exclusivity situation. We've seen some negativity or a negative ways of creating opportunities for students. But when we look at the college scene, I think CLOL is a good indication. You do look at NACE Star League and how they are able to host JV competition, and there's also some ability in the community guidelines for smaller groups to host some competition. I think that's a really big positive, and we'll probably see in Valorant what that looks like from at least a JV or a mass adoption kind of beyond community guidelines of the 16 team max or whatever it is. That's kind of a question of what it's going to look like. Right now, Valorant's community guidelines differ from League of Legends because in some key ways around the education space. So Valorant's community guidelines don't list or don't forbid governing bodies of Scholastic from hosting competition. They also don't limit the amount of teams that can participate. And that's a really major positive, in my opinion, for Valorant. But I think we'd be naive in thinking that would not be added, or there wouldn't be a chance that gets added to the Valorant guidelines. I don't really know where I want to be with that. Riot tourneys are pretty open, in my opinion. Am I missing something? Not really. Riot tournaments, yes, but when we look at League of Legends and the community guidelines around it, they restrict most of their competitions to 16 teams or less, and it has to be done within 2 weeks. It eliminates any league format except for those with licensing. When we look at Valorant, those specific specifications are not listed in the community guidelines, but I'm under the impression, or my guess is they will be added at some point. Yeah, that team limit. It did hiccup that St. Louis event. Absolutely. So those are some things that I think are important to kind of think through. But from my perspective, overall, huge positive. I think it was interesting to see how many schools either came out right out of the gate or used it as a promotional opportunity to kind of push that they're recruiting students. And there's a little bit of drama surrounding some of that. Some people saying, like, if this is the first time or students beware, if this is the first time a school is talking about Valorant, beware, look elsewhere, or whatever. I don't know. There's people starting stuff. But overall, like I said, I think this is a good thing. I'm really interested to see what this actually looks like in terms of what the structure resembles in come the fall. And I'm also interested to see who is put in charge of this. If it's Tiza who is in charge of CLOL, or if it's somebody else. That could also determine what the structure looks like. I'm assuming that the CLOL team will be heavily involved in kind of giving some feedback. I'm assuming RSAA will be a part of that. It's difficult because I'm not on the inner side of the inner circle of RSAA. I don't know how much say the board of advisors actually has. I don't know if they're like let's meet once a semester. Riot will give us their plans and then ask for some feedback, or if they're like meeting once a month and they get to really push what structure actually looks like. I'm not entirely sure. I love Tiza, but that's too much work for one dude. It probably is. My assumption is that they would expand that team of individuals, but it doesn't make sense for Riot to run Valorant completely independent of League of Legends in the collegiate space, because there are fixed costs that would be saved if they kind of put it all together. Imagine taking the CLOL Discord and just changing it to the RSAA Discord or Collegiate League of Legends and Valorant Discord. Do you really need two Discords? Just one example of that coming together. Jay Smith, isn't it like once a year thing? For RSAA, I'm not sure. I don't know what Matt's involvement is normally otherwise. I'm not sure who... Are you talking about... Matt Dasha? From my understanding, Matt Dasha is the person who's leading most of these efforts in terms of final say of what's happening. Yeah, Matt Nasha. Sorry. Yeah, my from what I've been told, Matt is in charge, or kind of the last say on all of this. He's the head of Academy, Amateur, and Scholastic North America for Riot Games. And from what I've been told, everyone who works with him or interacts with him likes him. I don't know much about Matt, to be honest. I have not had the pleasure of meeting him. But if he's in charge of over CLOL, and they're looking at starting, or they're going to be supporting Valorant, my assumption is they will probably look similar at some capacity. My big guesstimate or bet is on partner conferences being heavily involved in the get-go, or from the get-go when we talk about Collegiate Valorant. Also, question, my guess is Valorant will probably be a fall title. My guess is that CLOL stays in the spring and Valorant owns the fall. That's my guess. We'll see. Billy asks, did they give conferences enough time to spin up Valorant for the fall? That is a good question. Okay, I did read this in the announcement, and I was like, I should talk about this, because this was really, really kind of, I got a chuckle out of it. Where is this? Oh, yeah. With our target start in fall 2022, any interested schools and universities have ample time to bolster their Valorant programs in preparation for competition later this year. I laughed so hard at this because from a school's perspective, now it does say bolster or bolster their Valorant program. So if this is towards schools that already have it, yes, sure. But for those who don't have it, giving an announcement right now in February is not enough time to create a program and recruit a full competitive roster. For most schools and at the resources that most of us are at, to have that by the fall. School budgets locked in December. Yeah, some of the bigger schools, your budget's already passed. For us, smaller schools, most of the time, March is kind of that budget period for the next academic year. But, yeah, I didn't really like this comment. I just did not like this line here. I think anybody with actual collegiate experience at a school would have read this line and cringed. But, I mean, as we know, most, if not all, the folks on the CLOL team have never worked at a school before or in a program. Some of them might have been like a club president or something, but this line just brought pain to me. Like, okay, clearly they do not fully understand what varsity programs and directors are going through, but it is what it is. That's just, I guess, nitpicking a little bit, but Tiza knows that this is a late for a fall announcement, to be honest, so it must have gotten stuck in approvals or something. Better late than wait for spring. I agree with that. Yeah, I just didn't like that line at all. And like the line didn't even bring like any benefit to the announcement. It's not even worth having in there. It's Gid, first time chat from a viewer. Howdy. Thoughts on the possibility of franchise teams sponsoring or partnering with colleges for Val? As franchise teams have known about this move for a while, i.e. Ampro, AMD, the recent push of support. I've always had the thought that there's a huge potential for pro teams to use their academy or partner with schools with their academy teams and kind of use that partnership to offer their players an education and an opportunity to really get better at the game. So that was a long-winded answer, but basically I've had this thought of like, hey, there's these academy teams with players getting paid nothing, and there's just like this weird, I don't know, semi-pro scene is very odd to me, but there's an awesome opportunity, in my opinion, to partner with colleges. A lot of these colleges have esports labs. Some of them have coaching, and all the resources that an academy roster would love or would need, and partnering with them to create some type of opportunity where their academy players study at school while practicing and maintaining their professional schedule. Will it actually happen? I don't know. There's a lot of questions in that. I don't know what sponsoring colleges or partnering with colleges would mean. If you're talking about like partnering in like watch parties and stuff, maybe. If you're talking about like putting their academy teams in colleges, I doubt it. I think this does open up that door a little bit to creating talent and funneling that talent from the college scene to the pro scene. Yeah, as Billy said, colleges are great venues for team events and viewing parties as well. Yes, I agree with that. We hosted our League of Legends World Championship with Misfits at Florida Southern. It was cool. Yeah, I don't know what the root of the question is, but more support from Riot in the college space is definitely gonna push the scene forward, in my opinion, and it's gonna bring some legitimacy to what the colleges are doing, and what the players who are competing at the college level are doing. Would love to see some significant investment from Riot in terms of in-person finals, some cool activation stuff on that end. I'm assuming it'll be a part of it, but we'll see. But overall, I mean, this is a pretty exciting announcement. But like I said, not a lot of information was shared. Basically, they're going to support it starting fall 2022, and that's about what we got. More sweet Riot swag boxes. We need more swag boxes. All right, those things are like hype. All right, they're very sweet. I think this will push a lot of schools to consider adding Valorant if they haven't already. Especially like maybe after year 1. I think we'll get a good chunk starting it for the next fall, and then after that I think we'll get another big chunk. Because this is a sign of a long-term investment on Riot's end. I'm going to push for us to add it eventually. Absolutely. I got it approved at my last school. My last school didn't want to do first-person shooters, but this one I brought to them. It's rated teen. It's a little bit more on the cartoony side of things. You can turn off the blood, etc. I mean, all of it. It opens the door of possibility to schools that might not approve other FPS games. And I think that's a really exciting piece of it. Hey, Adam, when are you adding Counter-Strike Global Offensive? What's that? Joking. I'm not adding Counter-Strike at this point. I wish I could have at my last school. Is it a sign of long-term investment? Wouldn't hiring more staff for RSAA be a bigger sign of long-term investment? Maybe. To an extent, yeah, I guess. I don't entirely know what the structure of RSAA is and how much more staff you actually need. I mean, from my perspective, Riot seems to do a pretty good job in CLOL in terms of adminning CLOL and running that. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure of the inner workings of the RSAA team or the Scholastic team over at Riot. They outsource it to Battlefy, I think. Yes, they do. That is true. That is a good point. They do outsource it to Battlefy. Battlefy does a lot of the adminning. And I honestly, I think it's been fine. Yeah. I think it'd be nice if they hired somebody to run the high school scene. I think it'd be nice if they hired somebody separate to run the Valorant scene. I think there are much better ways that they could be supporting and building up the Scholastic side of their esports business than they currently are. So, yeah, I couldn't argue. I wouldn't argue what you're trying to say there. I'll outsource you. If they thought that outsourcing was a better product overall, they would do it at the pro level, and they don't. So there's some type of value trade there that I would like to see kind of pushed back towards doing it in-house, in my opinion, and hiring to support that. But again, I'm not aware of the inner workings of the business side. I outsource all responsibility to students. Good. I try to outsource some, but I can't do it all. I can't outsource it all. So who in chat has a Valorant team? Anybody in chat have a Valorant team? Does this change your thoughts on Valorant or on what you're doing in terms of Valorant? %, will be adding it to fall 2022. Oakland, nice. My uni just announced their Valorant manager 2 days ago. Nice, ahead of the curve. We're a club. We have every team. Wow, so special. K-Bot, we're outsourcing all responsibility to students because we have nobody at a full-time role. Don't get me started, K-Bot. Maybe one day you will. Or is that just not going to happen again? Leone just says needs to get the budget approved. Fair, fair. Oh, Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Okay, nice. Just announced your Valorant manager. Sweet. Yeah, we do. Should be a pretty solid program going forward and hoping to build more off a CS reputation. Yeah, you guys at Davenport building that CSGO reputation. Nice. Oh, right. I shouldn't get you started. Now we will soon. Good. Hopefully within the next month. Nice. I haven't seen a job posting. I'd share it around if I saw it. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, wait. No. Did I see it? Slans let my JV team play. I have a Valorant league. You have a Valorant league? Our posting was in November. Yeah, okay, I do remember that. We talked about this. Hopefully you guys get somebody good. There's a lot of potential there. They got to get somebody up and running before you're gone. Then a lot of institutional knowledge will be out the door. Yeah. Valorant's a title I have not been following very closely. I'm also waiting for that. Capico. Is that Aaron? How many iRacing rigs are you buying? Probably one to start. That is Aaron. Nice. Nice. Aaron, congrats on the little coaching gig over at Oakland. It's exciting. Honestly, it'll be interesting to see if Riot uses their current casters for the Collegiate League or gets some of the casters that are already in the Collegiate Valorant scene. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what they do. What do they do on the league side? Like, toward the finals, do they use their league casters, their LCS casters? I thought they did. I thought, like, I saw Captain Flowers did the last one. They use a mixture? Okay. Yeah, I don't fully remember. At least for the desk, I remember they brought in some people in this space. I do remember that kind of, because the playoffs, when they start the playoffs, they do it through Unified. Unified does the broadcast. And I thought they used... They brought in people like... they brought people who are like on the selection committee as experts in some of those games. Like, who do they bring on? Gosh, now I'm struggling to remember. They brought on some like collegiate coaches or players or people who are like in the scene in different ways to be analysts once in a while. But I do remember that, now that I think about it. Oh boy. Part 1 of the coaches roundtable that me, Leone, and Bilski were on just got posted. Oh, probably not gonna watch that. I really struggle watching interviews or shows I do. I just do not enjoy it. We're so famous now, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't like watching it. Maybe it's because I already know what's going to happen. Like, I don't watch movies more than once. got interviewed 2 weeks ago and had to ask for a transcript because watching it makes me feel odd. That's weird. I've never asked for a transcript. Interesting. The low self-esteem, nerdy high schooler part of my brain rejects any footage that I'm in. That's fair. That's fair. It's not, I don't know. I also like watching them like, why did I say that? Or, wow, the way I just paused or said something is just sounds so stupid. So, that's, do not enjoy that. But I've been trying to edit these shows down, and I have to watch a good chunk of it. Just to make sure I didn't say anything completely wrong before it's posted. Yeah. Yep. I feel that. I feel that. Video interviews with journalists are terrifying. Nah, dude. You get used to them. You get used to them. I always remember things I want to say after the interviews. Yeah. That's fair. I don't know if I've ever... I think I'm just usually so exhausted after interviews that I'm like, ugh. Like, not even thinking about what I forgot to say. Because you know everything you say is going in no matter what. Yeah, I did a couple live interviews for local news stations in Grand Rapids when we were hosting the league tournament with the West Michigan Sports Commission. And those live interviews hit different. That's for sure. They definitely hit different. I'm not a huge fan of them. But, I mean, if you're going to put me in front of a camera, like, I'm not going to say no. Like, I'll do it. Let's do it. It's exciting. It's the excitement. Well, I do a bunch now, but it's still sketchy at times if I'm not feeling 100%. Yeah. Aaron says doing the interview itself is no big deal. It's just watching it back. I'm like, why did I do that with my hands or something? Yes. That's what I feel. I sway a lot. That's a bad one I've got. Yeah, I don't know what else I do, but I'm equally annoyed and embarrassed for myself. Oh, I don't even have the right... Dude, I don't even have the right thing on here. No one said anything. I didn't even have the Valorant background on. Ugh. Look at that. Speaking of stupid stuff you do. I switched it up, but my entire YouTube video will just say varsity only leagues. Rip. This is just a podcast. Yeah. Although I've been getting like 200 views on my YouTubes. Edited and post. That is a good idea. I could edit it in post. But that's a lot of work. I would just put it out there anyway. But I've been getting like 200 views on most of my YouTube VODs. Not the full show ones. Those are like 5 views. But the like 15-minute clips I do on different topics like Play Versus and NCCA, they've been fun. Just Redbox over top of Varsity League and then put RSAA. Yeah, again, a lot of work. That's a lot of work. One day I will be successful enough to pay somebody to just edit my stuff. But today is not that day. My marketing department always mentions this first. Stop swaying. Yeah, I have that problem. My marketing department doesn't care, though, whenever I do an interview or anything. Neither school I've ever had or I've ever been at has been like, wow, you're on another interview? That's so cool. Send it to us. It's usually me sending it to them and then no reply. Yeah. I used to, at Aquinas, every time I did an interview, I would send it to like my boss's boss, the head of marketing, and just be like, hey, just letting y'all know I did an interview on Wood TV or whatever the local news station is about esports. Here it is. And no reply. Thank God my kids can make graphics where we have nothing. I'm going to be talking, I don't know if you're going to NACAD. Highly recommend if you are considering it. But the NACAD clinic, I'll be doing a session on marketing your esports program. And there's a tool that we use at Florida Southern. We used it at Aquinas as well, called Box Out Sports, that I highly recommend. I don't know what the price structure is for like one program. I've always been under athletics, and athletics had it for traditional athletics. And we just got added as a team. But it is so easy. So easy. It's plug and play. I'll probably show it at the conference. Considering it, but trying to get the school to pay for flights. 100%. Yeah, I would try to get the school to pay. I would struggle to go if I had to pay for it. I would still probably go this year because even if I had to pay for it, I'd still go. I've gone to the last 4. No, the last 3. This is the 5th one ever. I've gone to all of them except the first one. And the networking at those events was invaluable. It's the first place I met so many people in the space. And then I took, I don't know if Leone's still in here, but Leone, Bilski, who's at Grand Valley, and Marshall, who was our Rocket League coach, all went right before the pandemic. And it was an awesome event. And then shortly after, 2 of those 3 had full-time jobs as directors at other schools. So I met Leone there. Yeah, I went last year, but school paid for me to get a car and gas hotel. Did we meet there? We must have met there then. I met Leone there, and that's how I started coaching Lowell for them. Oh, that's awesome. We must have met then, man. We must have met there. I'm so bad at remembering, like, people that I just, like, meet once or twice. We met very briefly. Okay. That makes sense. But those events are so awesome. I mean, from a networking standpoint, they're sweet. I met a lot of people at those. Highly recommend. I'll send the virtual link for your session to the marketing department. Oh, God. You'll be there in person? Yes. Dude, it's going to be a party. I've talked to so many people who are like, oh, yeah, I'm going. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. That's so cool. I was very quiet and shy because I knew 0 people in Collegiate at the time. I was just talking stuff and a lot. Dude, now you're the old guy. Come on over. Get over there. I'm excited for it. You're going to Leone? Oh, yeah, that's right. Bilski told me. Dude. Oh, boy. It's going to be fun. I feel like I wish I could go, but I also don't have the time, energy, or money to get out there. That's fair. It's fair. You know, you should ask... I wonder if the Ohio Wesleyan director's going. And if he's driving, you should just hop in the car. Crazy 3 years makes an old guy. Yeah, it does. 3 years makes us all old people. All right. The first event or thing I ever did as a coach after I got hired from Aquinas was go to the NACAD conference. It was their 2nd annual one. It was my first week as a college director. And I went with a GA from our athletic department, and we went to it. That's where I met Michael Jones, Josh Knutson, Dana for the first time. I don't remember who else I probably met Doc there for the first time. But yeah, that was my first experience. It was really cool. OU has a program for esports. Yes, they do. I interviewed there and they offered me the job and I turned it down. That was like last July or August. I visited their campus. It was pretty. But yeah. Oh, woo has a program. They have an esports program that just started this fall. They'll launch competition next fall. Aaron says there are a good number of programs popping up in Ohio. Kenneth. Yeah, there are. I'm a one-person marketing department for the esports program, so I'm definitely going to try and be there for the marketing event. You should. It's just a marketing talk. The whole event is great for any director or coach. But I will have a session on marketing that I think will be helpful, hopefully, for new directors and some directors who have been around the block for a year or two. Should be good. You visited Ohio last week and you didn't say hi to Kenneth? Bro, you were in Cleveland? Oh, God. Yeah, Cleveland. Name one city in Ohio where people would actually want to live. I'll wait. Oh, nothing. Mic drop. One day was all interviews. Oh, that's exciting. Let's go. What programs are popping up in Cleveland? What schools in Cleveland? Let's start looking. Don't act like you would rather live in Ann Arbor. All right. No comment. Ann Arbor is kind of a cool place, but I've only been there for like one. I went to Gamers for Giving at Eastern Michigan, and we went to Ann Arbor for one night. And it was cool that night. I grew up a Michigan fan, but every story that I hear coming out, or everything I've learned about, or every new thing I learned about the esports program there and what they're doing for esports makes me not interested in Michigan, University of Michigan, but who knows? I like Cleveland. People talk bad about it a lot, but I was like, this is good, other than had they not have the sidewalks all clean. That's fair. It is. It's sad to watch from the sidelines. Dude, I mean, here's the deal. I grew up a Michigan fan. I am a huge Michigan fan. I did not go there, but family-wise, like I was born on the day of the Michigan State game. And from that moment on, Michigan fan. And then to hear all the stuff going on and see how it's being supported or lack thereof, it hurts, man. Definitely hurts. Wait, should I not say who interviewed with last week? You can say it. I don't know. I don't know what your job is or what your status is, if you want it to be public or not. It's up to you. Totally up to you. CSU. What is CSU? Cleveland State University. Nice. I don't know anything about Cleveland State. Do they have athletics? They do. Field 17 sports. Are they most of the teams compete in the Horizon League. Oh, are they a D1 school? They are. Oh, with Oakland. Oh, conflict of interest. Robert Morris. Oh, this is interesting. All right, so let's walk through this. Cleveland State, they would be starting esports. Oakland University has esports. Purdue Fort Wayne has esports. Robert Morris has esports. University of Illinois Chicago, no longer part of it. Okay, so there's like 3 schools. Northern Kentucky also has esports, I believe. So you have like 4 schools in that conference. Now 5 schools that have esports. That's exciting. what I've kind of noticed is that in my experience, most of these athletic conferences are getting to the point where they have like 4 to 6 schools that have esports, which I think is really exciting. Because we're starting to get to the point where those athletic conferences usually in their bylaws say that if 4 schools or 4 or more schools support a sport, it becomes a sport. So we're starting to see a conversation able to be had in multiple conferences. And in the case of the WAC, where I was at Aquinas, it got adopted. Esports got adopted as an official sport. I'm currently, the talks in the Sunshine State Conference are a little slower when we start getting to D2. But the conversation can be had because we're starting to get to the point where we have that 4 to 5 schools. So it's exciting. Well, that's awesome to hear, Aaron. Good luck with all the interviews you're doing. That's super awesome and exciting. I'm going to wrap this one up. We kind of talked about Valorant a little bit, not a whole lot. You're late. What's up? Hell on pause. We are talking about Valorant and not NASCAR. That is true. Oh, why are we talking about Valorant and not NASCAR? We haven't talked about NASCAR. Should we talk about a little NASCAR before I end the show? Sure. So today, in addition to Valorant being announced, NACE Star League, CSL and NACE together, announced their activation of iRacing with NASCAR. eNASCAR is hosting a college series of tournaments in partnership with NACE Star League. And it's going to be pretty sweet. Like this is deep. This is NASCAR supporting it. eNASCAR's production team is going to be doing the production. NACE and CSL are kind of pushing it and holding the admin side of it all down. But it's going to be a series of races this spring. There's 3 races. They have like a time attack. You can just go race before the races, and you have to qualify for the races. There's 3 races. There's a qualification for each of those races that you can do kind of on your own. And there's $50,000 of prize money on the line for this spring. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's so cool. The moment I saw Collegiate iRacing, probably 2 months ago or so, 3 months ago, I turned on Twitch channel for Collegiate iRacing, and I saw the University of Tennessee logo on the front of a car. And then behind it, I saw the St. Clair logo from Windsor, the esports program there, on the next car. I knew immediately that this was going to be sweet, and this was going to probably grow. And now we get to actually see a major activation in Collegiate, and I'm stoked. It's going to be awesome. Big fan. But sponsors already lined up: Coca-Cola, Logitech, Playseat, SCW. I'm not sure who SCW is, but that's huge. It's labeled the eNASCAR College iRacing Series, powered by NACE Star League. iRacing is a part of this whole situation. Like, I'm pretty sure this was on the front page of iRacing like a week ago and still is potentially. So it's going to really open up some doors and some opportunities here for schools and students. I think this is going to hopefully turn some heads when we talk about like our bosses and admins at schools. There's just so much opportunity in iRacing, in my opinion. So I'm really excited about it. But that's all I've got today. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. We will definitely be talking about iRacing, I'm sure, once we see a couple of these tournaments go. And we're going to continue to talk about Valorant because, like I said, not a lot has been talked about announced in terms of Valorant, except that it's going to be supported. So we'll keep an eye on that and probably talk about Collegiate Valorant again before the spring season ends. But thank you everybody for joining. If you guys are going to NACAD and want to meet up or whatever, let me know. Actually, you don't even need to let me know. I'll be out. I'll be shaking hands, kissing babies, doing my rounds, talking it up, making sure I make the most out of my networking. when it comes to NACAD, but I'm really excited for everybody who's going to be there. Hell on pause. If you're not thinking about going to NACAD, you need to rethink that. Right as I tune in. Zoo! What up, Zoo? You're going to have to watch the VOD later. I'm not redoing it for you. And I'm sure you got some sessions to plan for. Huge shout out to Zoo, because Zoo's going to be, is helping us coach our League of Legends team. Highly, highly recommend. Oh, here's a plug. Here's a little snippet for those who are still sticking around. If you're struggling to get part-time coaches approved because of HR stuff, look into medify.gg. All right? That is what I finally got approved at my school to use. And Zoo's on there. A bunch of other pros are on it. Huge recommend on Medify. They've been awesome to work with. But a really nice way to get around the HR stuff and to get some actual high-level coaches helping out your program. In Iowa, yes, hell on pause, NACAD in Iowa. Yes, sir, I got 3 of your lads tomorrow for one-on-ones. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, I'm peacing out. I'm going to, I don't know, go prep. I got a Academy League of Legends team today. I'll see what magic I can make happen. Good. Peace. Thank you, everybody. Have a